Let's talk about iterations, how we iterate key value pairs. In your module, you should be seeing four sample codes: MapInterface.java, MapEntry.java, ArrayListMap.java, and your map example class. This map example class is a static main that runs the ArrayListMap. Recall from your prior lecture here, you have map interface. Basically defines all of the functionalities what a map needs. There's also a concrete class. This map interface, map entry, right? These are Java classes that go with your textbook. These are not your standard Java implementation. Array list map is a collection of map entries. And this collection of map entry, you make use of what's called an array list. This array list takes in a collection of map entry. And this map entry has a key value pair. These are generic data types. Your array list map, this is a dash line, implements map interface. So we saw what map interface was. This array list map makes use of this array list. Recall that array list is a part of your collection framework in Java that is available in your Java util package. So this array list provides us with dynamic arrays in Java. This array list is an array, and this array is resizable. What's in every single one of the slot is a map entry object. So this map entry object encapsulates key values. There's one map entry, there's another map entry, there's another map entry, so on and so forth. So this is the array list that lines the underlying buffer for array list map, which implements map interface. Your map example makes use of the array list map. So this is the architecture that you see throughout the entire chapter. This iteration calls for the iterations of map entry through this array list. You have map entry number 1 here, map entry number 2 here. The key for each of these elements is actually indexed. Map entry as the value that lines every single element inside this array list object. Each map entry class represents a key and a value. The key values are defined as a generic. These K and V, they could be character, they could be string, they could be integer class, they could be double class, they could be Boolean class, so on and so forth, with a custom constructor here and the accessor that gets you the value and the key subject to the generic data types, as well as the set methods. The toString is a override of the Java objects. Map entry inherits from Java object. You can see the key value pair printed that way. You'll see that array list map implements map interface. The map interface has methods put, this is the insertion of elements, get, this is the retrieval of elements, as well as remove, along with all the other observers like contains, is empty, is full, and stuff like that. This array list maps has two constructors. So we'll go over this again later in the lectures. The underlying buffer is using array list, which is part of the Java utils. Array list makes use of map entry. Every single element inside the array list is a map entry. And this is the type. This object that gets out of the array list is a type map entry. So it's an array of map entries. If you go to the map example, you'll see that this map interface is making use of the interface polymorphism, has a array list map. This array list map defines what this map interface is. So our example is really a concrete class, an instance of array list map that implements a map interface. And the key value pair that we see in here, or the map entry that we see in here, is character and string. Inside of the map entry example is the array list map. Inside of the array list map allows you to write a for loop, iterate into it. You can go through every single slot inside the array list, and each M, the object coming out of your array list, is a map entry object. This map entry object allows you to print the value of what that map entry is. You see these iterations here coming off of the array list map, having its underlying buffer being the array list in Java.